Okay, people, we have already reached video number three. We're going to talk about listening now, teaching listening. Now, the first thing I need to remember is that listening is a connection to communication and comprehension. This is super important, and some of the terms that I need you to review are the following. First, I need you to learn what is listening for gist. The gist of the listening is the main idea or the overall. Please take notes. Remember this time that when we play the audio twice, the first thing or the first time we play the audio, your students must understand the gist of the listening or understand on the overall idea. Now, for the second time you play the audio, they must understand the details. So they must search for details, specific information, number, dates, facts, um, I don't know, specific information. You have them search. On the second time, they listen. Now, remember that for all these, they need to take notes. Note taking is super important. That's why it's already mentioned there. They can use symbols, keywords, graphic organizers, whatever way they can take notes is all right because the notes are for them, not for you as a teacher. Now, you can also use predicting, anticipating content based on context, titles, visuals. Remember, they must connect with what they're going to be listening. So that's important. As I previously mentioned in video number two about the stages of reading, we also have the same three stages for teaching listening. And this is a slide that I used when I taught you that. Now, instead of having the explanation for each one of the stages, I have here only the strategies. And by strategies, you can have a list of three things that you can do for each one of the stages. For the pre listening, here you have prediction. You can show pictures, keywords, what do you think you'll hear? You can have something fun to create that environment where they can predict what is the listening going to be about. Then we have the pre-teach vocabulary. Introduce 3 to 5 keywords or phrases. We did this last week, as you remember, or 2 weeks ago, if I'm not wrong. But the idea is that they can connect with the vocabulary or new words or specific vocabulary that you're going to be teaching during the listening. Now we also have brainstorming. Brainstorming is something you can do and it's really fun. You only need markers, but you can have all of your students together and write different words or ideas about one topic, and that is brainstorming. And the last one is guiding question. A guiding question is super important because it can bring a myriad of ideas for each one of the students and have them connect with what you're going to be teaching during the listening. Now, while or during the listening, remember, first listening, the gist. I already mentioned that here. So you already know what the word gist means. But they can answer to a general question. What is the topic of the listening, for example? Then we have the second listening, and they search for details. You can have a true or false question, multiple choice, fill in the blanks. You can have lyrics, notes, sentences, sequence of events. You can have specific activities for them for during the listening. And the note taking is important, people. Note taking, you have to teach your students how to take notes. So I believe that's going to be super important. Um, just a quick break. Next week, we're going to have a special workshop on teaching how to take notes for students. Okay. I will teach you how to do it, and you can replicate the same information to your students. So I believe that's going to be important. And then we have post listenings. For post listening, what can you do? You have the list of 4 different strategies. First, we have discussion questions. Do you agree with your speaker? Why? Why not? Then you can have a role play. You can recreate the role, the listening or the dialogue, or give instructions from the audio. Do something where that your students can use speaking as the production part from the listening. But then we have also summarizing. It can be also written what you're going to have them produce. Then we have students retelling the story or have a different ending to a story or write a short summary to what they listened or write or design or draw they can do something where they can summarize the information they listened. And the last one is a creative response. This is one of my favorite ones because with creativity, you can find different options for them to produce. Now, we have some options here, as you can see, and this is the end of video number 3. Now, you are ready to answer the exercise. The exercise is designed for you to remember the steps and the sequence of stages for a listening activity. If you have any question, please rewatch the video. You also have the presentation available. So good luck.